Hey guys, welcome back to my workbench. Dan here as always, and for this video I'm going to be showing you guys some more project cars that I have finished or I've pulled out of my collection that I'm going to be selling off here. So I wanted to give you guys really a good advanced head start and a look over of some of these cars before I sell them. I should note I will be posting links to these cars individually. My initial plan here is to put all of them on eBay unless I get specific buyers who are really interested and want to make a private sale, for example. I will be glad to talk about offers and things like that if that's what comes up. I'll leave a link to my Facebook, for example. You guys can hit me up there if anyone's particularly interested about anything that I have here. But I just really want to make sure I give everyone an equal opportunity here to try to get some of this stuff because, like I said, this will probably be the last bigger round of cars that I have. And these are all premium models. These aren't older cars that I, pulled out of storage after 12 years. These are all cars that I've recently completed, really in the past 2 years, I'd say. So I really think these are honestly the cream of the crop of the cars that I will be selling. So I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a good look over of all of these, and we'll just go ahead and jump right into this. Some of you guys may remember these. These are both Trinity cement covered hoppers. I actually proto-weathered. These are DJJX, the new core cars. And these were repatched to GNAX, and they're used in cement service or phosphate service, but they get very, very dusty and dirty. So I weathered these cars to match kind of the photos that I was seeing. So you got a lot of the splatter on the ends, lots of weathering on the wheels, the underbays. These are American Limited cars. These came out, I think, a year or two ago. And a lot of these you can still find, but some of the specific roads are a little bit harder to find. But I am really happy with how the weathering turned out on both of these. It's just that I really just kind of honestly lost interest in both of them. Thinking it's just probably best I just let them move on, find some different owners that can really appreciate them. I just don't have much use for a lot of these 2-bays, and the cars I specifically want to model aren't exactly this type, if that makes sense. So it's just best that I get these out of the way instead of trying to re-weather them or repaint them. There's no point. I'd rather just let them stay in their finished state and let them move on to a different owner. So both of these cars have really nice detailing. I really like the weathering on both of them. A lot of them have the rust speckling, all the nice weathering on the underbays. The roof on both of these cars came out superb. You got all the textured, grimy buildup from all of the spillage of the cement. I think that's what they haul as cement because they get really chalky like this. That's all done with oils, but I'm going to probably sell both of these cars as a set, I think. That way you get both of them in one set. Now, I know some of you might be like, oh, that's stupid. Why don't sell them individually? Just to save on shipping, to be honest. I really don't want to have multiple packages. So I kind of think it'd be cooler, too, if they stayed together, to be honest, because I weathered them with the intent of them staying together for unit service. So personally, that's how I want to sell them. So I'll probably be selling these cars as a set, both of these guys. And we'll go ahead and move them aside. The next car I have is one I just finished, and it's actually one I intended to sell anyway. NDYX 847042. This is an older Athearn Genesis. I weathered this one with some sponge effects. I did a lot of rust dot techniques, a little bit of graffiti work, some decal work, added the safety striping, lots of rust, lots of grime, and everything else. You can see there's all kinds of weathering work on the sides, on the bottom. You can see there's lots of runoff on the bays. Superb work on the bays there. Clean off the wheel tread there, prototypical. And then you got all the nice grime work and rust work on the roof walks, on the hatch area. Came out awesome. And on the ends, of course, you got to have that splatter. That's the key thing with these cars to make them actually look right. You got to have all that splatter in the end cages. So I went in and modeled all that, of course. And then I did all the patching on the ends as well, as you can see here. So honestly, that's a really, really nice car. And it's an early Genesis, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Super happy, actually. I honestly don't want to sell it, but I made it with the intent of selling it, so I'm going to stick to my word on this one. So that's one that's going to be sold off here pretty soon. I'll let you guys see that in advance as well. Next car here, we have a Central Soya, and this is one that honestly breaks my heart. I really don't want to sell it. It's a nice 4750, but There's just some things about it I wish I would have done differently, but it's still a super nice car that's weathered prototypically to try to match a specific type of car, and really how these things look in their final years before they get scrapped inevitably. So anyways, what did I do with this one? All kinds of oil work. You got rust, got all kinds of patchwork, heavily rusted up billboard there with the dual logo, paint fade. You got new tangent hatches applied to this, lots of rust on the top there, just a crazy amount of rust there. And you can see all the nice weathering effects, all the rust work to the end cages there. Lots of fine dot work. That's something I really tried to focus on here, with all the fine rust dots, all the scratch and pit effects. Added the tack boards and things like that, the old ACI label there. And then on the end cages, some really nice rust there. Just came out awesome. And then this side, you can see all that rust and everything else. Pretty much about the same kind of weathering effects. There's a lot of rust dot work there. And you can see it's really well built up all over the place on this car. The placards especially just look amazing. And then there's a lot of rust there as well. That's in there too. So that's going to be another car that I will probably be selling. I say probably. I'm trying to actually sell this, but it's really hard for me to force myself to let this thing go because it is a beautiful model. You can see just the amount of rust work that's on the underbody there too. Hours and hours of weathering work. I'll tell you, it's not easy to make these things, but if you make them nice and they look right, it's something else, I'll tell you. So that's going to be a one-of-a-kind car right there. Like, honestly, that's going to be one of my best in this lot here, next to the other car, another car that I'm going to be showing here in a second. But it's a beautiful 4750 that I will try to stick to my word here and sell. So I'll set that one aside here. The next car is an ADM UELX. This is the paint scheme everyone wanted of the Evans. What are these? 4780s, I think? Anyways, this is an exact rail car. I weathered this one according to some photos. Most of these cars have been sold off to secondhand roads or they've been scrapped. I didn't want to end up having to repatch this thing. I decided to just sell it as is and just let it be enjoyed for what it is, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this one go, but again, it's got some really nice grain spill stains up there. The hatches have been nicely weathered. There's some rust effects, load streaking, things like that. Lots of rust spots. Beat up the ADM logo there. Got all kinds of rust dots and things like that on the sides. All the weathering on the underbase, including on the ends there as well. On the opposite side here, you can see all that nice weathering. Just a lot of superb weathering, as you can see. A little bit of graffiti too, and of course the kick up on the end there as well. Alright, so there's that guy. This next car, this is a painful one too. This is one of the rare scale trains. The ones everyone is basically after, the KCS version, patch out car. One of the Greenbrier Gunderson cars, or not, yeah, it is just a Gunderson car, not a Greenbrier. But Scale Trains offered these and then an NOKL version, and both of these are really hard to find, but I actually got this one from a buddy. And I weathered it up with the intent to keep it, but I decided to just go ahead and sell it. I really don't want to because it's a super nice car, but the one I really want is the NOKL version, the NOKL patch version. That's the guy I really want. So I'm just going to let this one go, but it's got all the nice weathering effects that I normally do on these kinds of cars. You can see the extensive side scrapes. The sides there, some rust pits, some scratches, lots of graffiti. Well, not lots of graffiti, but just little bits of graffiti here and there. Just the kind of realistic little scribble you see. Added the safety tape. Lots of heavy kick up on the underbays. Lots of rust on the trucks and grime and everything else. The kind of weathering you generally see. The patching came out super nice. That's stock, but I just weathered it into the car and it just blended in super nice after I did all the scrapes. You could see the extensive scraping down the side. That is a key thing with these covered hoppers, and a lot of people miss that. But that's what makes my models look in particularly really nice, because they have all those effects that you don't commonly see modeled. But you can see this one has the really crazy end kick up. On the other side here, you can see all the weathering work again. All that's really well built up. You can see all the very fine tag work there. All the way down the side. I'll get you a nice look over here. Super, super nice. Really nicely weathered down to scale, I think. This one's got a nice big side scrape down there that's starting to rust, and you got the rust pits again. Nice heavy rust wash down the top. and all the nice grime work on the hatch, the staining, of course, and then the nicely weathered, subtly weathered roof walk hatches. So that's a really, really nice covered hopper, and I'm going to be selling that one as well, but I just wanted to again show it here. So that's the first batch of cars here. Let me go ahead and move these out of the way so I can move the last 4 models into the picture here. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys some tank cars next. These are ones out of my personal collection, and I just finished up this acid car here officially. I added a lot of weathering effects to it, but I ended up kind of holding back on some other effects until now, so it's actually officially finished in my mind. So it's a UTLX acid tank car, the nice white paint version here. So you can see it's got all the nice weathering effects there. It's got all the kick up and everything else on the underbody, rusted up the trucks, the bearings. You got all that really, really nice kick up on the end there. Super nice. I really love that effect. This is a beautiful car. Another one I don't want to sell, trust me, but I just got too many of these things. I actually got quite a few acid cars. Matter of fact, not to stray off course here, it's not that drawer, it's this one. This entire drawer down here, this is all these acid cars, all the way through the back there. I got too many of them, way too many. I've already sold one, but probably better go ahead and get rid of another. So yeah, this is going to be going up as well. This little guy here. I think this is a rarer paint scheme now too. They offered these and these got eaten up really quick. I think they also did these in 3-packs too, but that's going to be what I'm going to be selling. This next car here is a rarer Atlas. This one is really nice because I actually did the dual placards for the corrosive chemical that it's hauling. You see I decaled up the placards with some custom decals. Got all the nice weathering to the top hatch there, some spillage, lots of rust on the trucks, of course kick up on the ends, upgraded to KD couplers. You got the dual placards on the ends. And then on this side here, you got a little bit more load spillage and a lot of splatter coming down from that top portion there. There's a lot of nice weathering effects there to be glossed over, but I will be listing this one as well. So that's a nice Atlas tank car I'll be listing, like I said. This next tank car here is a rarer GATX. This is a Walthers, well, an early proto. Was this, what was this? This was a Walthers. This is from the first run of Walthers Proto, these GATX cars. This is the 31K ethanol tank cars, I believe. I weathered this one from some photos. You can see it's got the replaced safety striping. It's got the graffiti, old and new, mixed in there. A lot of rust coming down from the hatches, from the walkways there. Some new decals were added here and there. Added the placards, rusted up the underbody there. Got the kick up and everything like that. Same thing on the ends. And then on the opposite side here, got some crappy looking graffiti. I tried to copy and I tried to hand paint this stuff just to replicate what was on there. It literally looks like a little boy just walked up to this thing with a white spray can, just painted a bunch of crap on the side. But I tried to replicate it, so it's there. And you can see on the top there again all that nice rust. Super nice model. I just probably better double check that I actually got a box for this thing, but you can see the really nice dual safety tape there, where the old gets worn away and then they put new on the side of the car, kind of alongside it, just like that, which is pretty cool. I like to do that on these tank cars. So there's that one there. Alright, now the last car is a phenomenal model, and it's just as good, if not better, than that 4750 Central Soya car I showed you. Ready for this one, guys? Ta-da! Everyone loves a good scrap car, and everyone in particular loves these DJJX scrap cars. Well, this one is a phenomenal car. I mean, phenomenal. I weathered this one right as soon as I got it from the, I think it was the second to latest Atlas run that they did, where they have the green ends. I tried to replicate this car from photos using a lot of different techniques. I tried to do a lot of texture weathering, try to model some of those scrapes, bulged panels and everything like that, starting to rust up. Added some extra decals, the new safety striping, and I'm just going to really let the camera go down the side of this car nice and slow so you can see just the amount of rust that is on this thing, because it's just insane. I really went in detail with it. You can see I had the KD couplers, and even on the underbody it's got all the heavy streak weathering that you see commonly on these scrap cars. You can see all that heavy rust in there. On the interior of this car, it actually does have the scrap debris left over inside this car and all the heavy damage to the inside of the panels. This one took many weeks to do because it was just a constant process of layering, going back, changing stuff, and then adding layers of weathering, changing the weathering here and there, adding dents, just all kinds of crazy stuff to really make this thing come to life. I really like to go into detail with cars like these because it's important to actually make them look right. So I added all the nice end weathering, of course. You can see all that's there. I added all the similar kind of effects to the opposite side as well. So if we go down the side of this, you can see all that replaced data. Beat up Do Not Tamp logos, the beat up DJJ logo, some additional bracing that was added there, and then all the crazy amounts of rust, little bits of graffiti here. All this was added one layer at a time. And let me tell you, it was a pain, but it was worth it. So this is a super nice car, and it breaks my heart to sell it, but I just can't keep holding on to all these things. I gotta let them go. So that's going to be another scrap car there. That's going to be probably the first one I list on eBay, possibly next week, unless I get a private buyer for this thing. Like I said, if you guys are interested in any of these cars that you saw, you can hit me up. My Facebook is Daniel Arnold. You guys can follow me there and try to message me if you want. I'll try to get back to you and give you a price or a quote for, if you have multiple models you want to try to buy. I'll see if I can work out a deal with you. But I will try to price them to sell. But I do want to try to get some investment back, especially with cars like these, because these are labors of love. These things take hours and hours and hours to do. So some of these are more premium. But like I said, we guys can negotiate prices and things like that if that's what you guys want to do. I just want to show all of these models here and really let you guys look over them, and like I said, try to give everyone as much of a chance as possible to try to get some of these models if they're interested. So that's pretty much it for all the finished models. I will show these just to throw into this video. This is actually a lot of cars that I'm going to try to sell together if I can. You can see it's a lot of rarer cars, a lot of more hard to find stuff like these General Chemical cars. You got a rare TRLX patch out ACFX, or not an ACFX, this is an ACF center flow. You got one of the hard to find TTX new logo F boxes. These are really sought after. I got a really unique oddball UTLX. What is this, a acid tank car? That's an oddball I got with the intent on weathering, and I ended up not doing it, but I will be selling that in that set there. North American NAHX hopper there. Those are pretty popular. And then I have these two PLMX tank cars in this set. These are both 33,000 gallon late LPG type cars, but these are actually labeled for something else. But these are the Prime for Grime series. These sold out really fast, and I had two of these in storage for a number of years. And then I have another UTLX car. These are hard to find. Got a Tangent PLCX 4750. And then I have a GATX 2-bay. So I'm going to try to list this entire set of cars all together on eBay, I think is the plan. Probably like, I'm thinking maybe $500, possibly. I think that's honestly fair. This lot probably cost more than that because I was paying almost $50, sometimes $60 for most of these cars. So it's a lot of money, a lot of investment. But if anyone's looking for like a quick batch of modern freight cars they can throw into their collection, this might be a set you might be interested in. So I just wanted to include that in there. So, but yep, that's all these cars here, and then these beautiful models here as well. Just wanted to let you guys look over them, and like I said, let me know if you guys are interested. You guys can hit me up on Facebook. Daniel Arnold is my name. You can hit me up there and we can talk if you guys are interested. Other than that, the rest will be going on eBay, and I'll try to post some updates on my Instagram as well. My Instagram is Dan E. Dankinson. It is all lowercase, and you guys can follow me there if you want. I'll post pictures of these models individually, and I'll post and provide links to these auctions as I have them. And like I said, some of these cars I might sell privately as we go here. We'll see what kind of interest we get on this video here, but there are a lot of super nice models, and again, I'm pulling my teeth here letting a lot of these go, but like I said, I can't hold on to everything, especially with the amount of cars I've bought recently. even the ones I'm working up here, I don't have places to put these things anymore. I just need to start letting go of stuff I don't really need to keep holding on to and let other people enjoy some of my work. So anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Like I said, hit me up if you're interested in any of these, and keep a close eye on my social media and my YouTube account. I'll try to post links for a lot of these cars as I start selling them. So thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.